Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Omwando Enoch. Of course, this is channel number 1 on matters disability. Remember, if you are new here, kindly I welcome you and I want to request you to subscribe if you have not subscribed, because today's episode, you will like it, you will love it. As usual, this is a channel whereby you learn a lot concerning people with disabilities globally, that is in Kenya, East Africa, Africa, Europe, name the whole world. This is the only channel you'll get matters disability being discussed. Without much ado, I give you 5 seconds to subscribe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks a lot for subscribing. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate. And those ones who are returning viewers, I want to appreciate you for always coming and making sure that you watch our videos. Of course, they are educative. And those ones who have been DMing this channel, Omwando Enoch, we thank you. We don't take your comments for granted. And as usual, when you give us, we are here to bring the message. When you tell us what to discuss, we will always be here for you people. As you can see besides me, today I'm seated with my great friend, Jared Wilberforce. Of course, Jared Wilberforce has a channel. The channel is called, how do you call it, Jared?
Kweli Chungu TV.
Kweli Chungu TV. Go to YouTube, search Kweli Chungu TV. You'll get Jared there. He has a great content on matters disability and other things politically. It is not only people with disabilities, but the channel is just all round. But Omwando Enoch is only discussing issues concerning people with disabilities. How are you, my good friend Jared?
Very fine. How is Omwando Enoch?
I'm doing fine. Since the other day when we were together, when you were, you were interviewing that guy.
Fundi wa radio.
Yeah, yule anaitwa the guy Bernard Gesora. It was indeed a great interview. That guy, I was wondering how he's doing it, but I managed off camera to see how he's doing the repair of the radio.
You know, one funny thing, it's coincidental that I think I'm dressed the very same way, dear viewers, the same way we were when I was interviewing that day. I was the host. Today, I'm just a co-host.
Does it mean that these clothes are for...
Nasi moja, musubiri nimerudia nguo, sija repeat. Ziko mingi, ni venye napenda hii color na hii design, si moja.
Maybe it is your official when it comes to shooting. I don't know. Maybe you know. That's a story for another day. Otherwise, how have you been?
We are okay at Kweli Chungu, though we are on break. We just
for a while I've not seen some videos in your channel.
We off a bit, but we're coming back with a blast. We're coming in a big way. We're just coming back.
I also went for a break, but I'm now back. I promised my viewers, hii kazi ya kushoot now, it's not 1+1. Our viewer and our listener, it's not 1+1. It is tedious, taxing when we bring you these smart videos. As you can see, kama leo mahali hapa tuko, Jared, hapa panaitwa aje?
This is Ibara.
Natural.
Ibara. There's a better name. There's a village name for this place, but the entire place is known as Ibara. Ibara, for those of you who have been hearing Ibara Mission Hospital, this is where it is. Our Lady of Mercy, blah, blah, blah. There are many things that we don't want to promote them because they have not paid for us to promote them.
What is so good about Ibara here in Ibara? Because I can see tuko kwa mawe. It's natural. I love this fresh air. Yeah?
As you say, first of all, Ibara is natural. It's natural. You can see birds flying around, the vegetation. You know, the place is just natural. The air here is fresh.
It's a nice place.
The air is very
It's a nice place to visit.
And then above all, this is the place, almost the epicenter of Kiabonyor ward. This is where we get great musicians come from this area, not to mention them because they haven't paid for this promotion. Yeah. This is where we have hospitals, we have schools, we have great people. Even myself, I don't come from very far. They have the privilege to pride around, to brag around.
All right.
My home is a walking distance.
That is a story for another day. I know Jared can brag from morning to evening. He will not finish. And by the way, Jared, we are here today as we are receiving this fresh air that God created. Hakuna mwanadamu huwa analipisha mambo ya hewa. I thank God that God, wakati mvua inanyesha, inanyeshea kila mtu. Kama ni baridi mzuri kama hii, inakujia kwa kila mtu. So we thank God. Otherwise, if it was a human being, like, just we want to discuss today concerning some representative or person with disabilities. I'm sure kama wangekuwa na uwezo wangetuzimia hii hewa. Na leo my viewer, my listener, tuko na a very powerful discussion concerning our representatives in county assembly, in parliament, in senate, and name all those representatives in executive. Name them.
School boards.
Yeah, even school boards, everywhere. Those representatives, we won't talk about them, but specifically, we want to talk about our representatives in county assembly, parliament, and senate. Jared, I don't know. Wilberforce, we have representation in parliament, in senate, in county assembly. The constitution is now 10 years?
10 plus,
10 plus, almost 15 years down the line.
11 years
I don't know what we have achieved on matters disability since we got representation in the county assembly and parliament and senate. Maybe you can tell us, have you seen any difference?
Bro, in Audi, let me just start there. In Audi, it's just painful. It's just agony. Talking about our political representation. Let's just round it off to political representation. Talking about county assembly representation, talking about senate, talking about national assembly, the parliament. Bro, it is hell. I can say it is hell because I don't even think we have achieved 20 or 30% in as far as representation is supposed to help persons with disabilities. Because if you're talking about just representation, of course, people will say we've got representation in almost over 37 counties. We've got representation in the National Assembly. We've got representation in the Senate, and even the big offices. For information, even at State House, for information, wherever these big offices, we are supposed to have representation, and we even have. But they may be there physically. But then in as far as delivery is concerned, we are not very far from less than 5%. Sure. It is a cry. It is a cry. And it's a cry because we expect it to happen in such a way that if we have represented the county assembly, then there should be people who know their mandate, they know what they are going to do. Allow me to start by saying that wengi wamekwenda pale and they didn't know what they are going to do. I'm sorry, I have sat in fora where you get a county assembly representative telling you, mi hata sijui hizo vitu. You know? Unauza, mi hata sina gari.
How did he find himself or herself?
I don't have a car to go around. Then you ask yourself, who you will talk wapi? How did they come into being? You get somebody who tells you she's very bright, he's very bright, tells you, I'm there selling the plight of my political party. Yet the political party was given a mandate to pick somebody to go and present matters disability. But somebody tells you, niko pale ku represent chama changu. Are you seeing? Then we go higher, you take the note higher, and you see guys like, I'm sorry, I'll be a bit specific, I don't want to apologize.
I want us to go slowly by slowly.
Okay.
I know where you are heading.
Okay.
And I'm also...
Okay. Thank you for being a prophet.
Yes. I just wanted us to discuss, I don't know, county assembly, we have representatives. Yeah. For example, if I may ask, do you have a representative in our, that is Nyamira County, in our county? I understand Kisi County don't have a representative. What about Nyamira? Okay. Do we have a representative?
I would say in brackets, no.
The actual representation?
Physically there is.
Talk about him. Does he know or she know what he's doing?
Do I really need to talk about him? Because
what have we gained as Nyamira residents who are people with disabilities?
Nothing. Nothing. I can't talk. I should not even talk about him. But let me just talk about him because he has not given me anything to talk about. And let me talk about what I see. This is somebody who has been, hata jina yake ni hata ifai kusema kwa channel kama hii, tuseme tu innocent. Ati Innocent Ochenge.
So he's so innocent on matters disability.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you have defended him. He's innocent on matters disability. Now, Innocent Ochenge has been here since 2018. Since actually 2017 September. But the only thing he knows is that he's supposed to be exempted of parking fees, even overtaking. Those are the things he knows. But on matters affecting Jared Wilberforce, matters affecting some other person in Nyakeore, affecting people in Nyaramba, where he comes from, is on his story. He went there to get salaries. He went there. This is a man whose phone is even off on persons with disabilities. This is a man who can even not afford to release his own pickup to carry a wheelchair to donate to a person with disability. Leave alone donating money from his pocket to or even fighting for a policy to go through to gain money for persons with disabilities. Even offering his own pro box or pickup to carry a wheelchair that has been procured by some other entity to ferry it to elsewhere. He cannot. So does he really have something to be talked about?
So that means you have tried to reach him, but in vain.
Not even trying. We have labored, not trying, labored to reach him. But you will only hear stories. Leo alionekana assembly. Today we saw him somewhere in Kisii. Today we saw him fighting with the Kanjo because he parked wrongly and went to him. Then he was busy. I'm a person with disability. You know, is a man is better off causing dramas here and there, but not representing us in the house.
So Wilberforce, that means that he doesn't totally know anything. He doesn't know anything concerning people with disabilities, and he don't know what took him to the counter assembly. That is what you want to say.
The only thing he knows about disability is that he is disabled.
That is all about him.
That's what he knows about disability. What took him what took him to the assembly? He knows it is a right, and it was his time to earn a salary for 5 years. I don't even know whether he knows it is 5 years. I'm really afraid he may even not be knowing.
Now, Jared, just let us leave Ochenge himself. Wacha akae huko kule aliko. Sasa nataka kuna mtu, there are people that I want us to discuss. Kuna watu ambao wanatengeneza sheria kule national, that is counter assembly na not counter assembly but sorry, national assembly and senate. I want us to talk about mwaura. Mwaura has been that is Isac Mwaura has been our representative for the last 10 years. He was in the National Assembly and is currently in Senate. I saw him the other day, alikuwa na vitimbi sana, ameama akaingia chama chingine hapo sijui wapi, na hizo ndio anatuletea kwa media kelele mingi. I don't know, Mwaura amemanage kufanya nini kwa walemavu surely with all those nini za nyako nazo. You know, Mwaura has a long history because he started. Do you know that Mwaura is the one who started the National Council for Persons with Disabilities? They are the ones who started, na ndio wakati ule tukaandamana, watu wakatolewa huko, and Mwaura alipofanya maandamano, then the one of the not the directors, one of the prominent person here in Kenya took him to be his personal advisor on matters disability. I don't know.
Don't even say one
or say the office of Prime Minister took him. The office of Prime Minister took him to be his chief advisor on matters disability. I don't know what he managed to advise, or he advised to be nominated with a certain party to be our representative in the National Assembly. Talk about Mwaura.
You already know what he did. You already know that. The only thing he did on Mwaura basically has been representing us since the Prime Minister's office, as in around 2008 till now. That is barely more than 14 years of representation under Isac Mwaura, my former head boy. For information,
so
was my former head boy.
Is your classmate, schoolmate?
No. He was my schoolmate. He was my former head boy. Oh. We were together in the CU, and yeah.
And you can't even talk to him to handle issues.
I can talk to him and advise him on how to take care of his family, not on matters on how to take care of disability. Because anyway, I got married earlier than him.
So talk about him now on the issue of
my friend. As we talk about Mwaura, don't also forget. We shall also touch on Sankok.
We shall come there.
Thank you. These are people we call, I don't even have a name for them, but their representation. You know me, Wilberforce is one person. I'm called Brother Power, and I speak my mind, and I speak on behalf of the people. Mwaura has failed us. The only thing he's been able to do is to divide disability.
How?
He went ahead and made the persons with albinism believe that they live in a different world. That is a headache we are fighting for even at grassroots. Because after Mwaura got his feet to some influential offices. He would even move and influence matters at the National Council to have issues done separately for persons with albinism, separating them from other cadres of disability. If somebody would think is an achievement, that's what they would call an achievement for him. But otherwise, Mwaura, in fact, is even whether to Shirabi his name because he deserves it. He's been a misrepresentation to us, right from the National Assembly. There is no legislation, there is no law, there is no bill that has been sponsored by Mwaura to go through affecting on matters persons with disabilities directly. The only thing he has done is to actually envelope his political mileage and welfare. Akutane kwa maselfie, go to TVs and radios, talk about political parties, talk about people. You know, he began with the Men in Black. You remember?
I remember.
Remember when he was leading the Men in Black at, was it Uhuru Park or Kasarani? Yes, Kasarani. When they were breaking ballot boxes in an ODM, whatever, NDC meetings. From there, he gained political mileage. And this is what he has been using. That's why today he's only busy thinking on how he can remain relevant in the political realm of this country. But on matters disability, Mwaura, I have personally talked to him. I have tried reaching him.
How was the
and
response?
Telling him, brother, we want to do this, A, B, C, and D. He'll tell you, tutaongea hiyo, tutapiga hiyo story. One time, I had the privilege to meet him on the doorsteps of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. This is a man who was my head boy. This is a man who solved my cases in school. If before I talk about disability at large, you know, it begins with the person you know. Nyaribo, utanipigia simu tutaongea. And there he goes. Is this the way you handle your fellow colleague, particularly a person with a disability? The answer is no. When you hear him talk in the National Assembly, when you hear him talk at the Senate, when you see him on political rallies, have you ever heard him address on matters disability?
By the way, I have never heard him talking about matters disability. The other day, I remember him telling us that the new notes, we will be able to recognize because they have braille lightings. But I've tried to look for those braille lightings. I've never seen.
Have you seen braille?
So I don't know.
So it means this is a man who does not even understand disability. You know, practically, here with me is a 50 shilling note. It doesn't have. You can touch it, bro.
So you have a lot of money.
Lakini usichukue. Unaguza unirudishie. My friend, Mwaura will tell you iko na braille. Does it have braille? It doesn't. The whole thing, Mwaura speaking to a people, I'm sorry to say, Mwaura is that person who wants to use the ignorance of a few people among persons with disabilities. Mwaura is that person who takes persons with disabilities to go and defend him. You remember that time when he was being chased away? Let me use the word chasing away from Jubilee Party. Remember him? He was looking for people to come to his aid.
I remember.
He has never called us to go and demonstrate at the assembly for the assembly refusing to pass a bill on matters disability. My brother, that time Kibos School for the Blind, I don't say this with a lot of vigor. Kibos School for the Blind was being evicted from the land where it sits by a private investor to be taken to a forest somewhere in the western province. We didn't see Mwaura. We didn't see him speak about it in parliament. Instead, it is totally other people who would speak about it. In fact, we want to thank the legislators from Kisumu County, those few who saw the need of Kibos School for the Blind being there. But Mwaura, who is a beneficiary of blind schools or school for the visually impaired, he was in Thika Primary for the school for the blind.
I
proceeded to Thika School for the blind. He went to Kenyatta University on grounds of disability. He was there seated when Kibos School was supposed to be evicted.
So, Wilberforce, can we conclude that Mwaura is an opportunist?
Of course. Mwaura is an opportunist. That is why, and I'll prove my point. Mwaura began his politics in CORD, in ODM, after the National Accord of 2008 when Kenya was burning. He was nominated as an ODM member representing persons with disabilities. I can tell you for free. I've followed Mwaura more than you. I'm sorry. I listened to him. He had shows on some radio station I don't want to mention here. He would really defend Raila Odinga, not persons with disabilities. Before the elections of 2017, he hoped, went to Jubilee, because he knows you can never be renominated by one political party twice. He jumped, went to Jubilee. You remember by then, Uhuru and Raila would not see eye to eye. Raila became a muganga. Raila became a muchawi. Raila became everything.
And yet he's the one who brought him
to the limelight. He went to Uhuru Kenyatta. He sang Tano Tena Ururuto Tano Tena. He was there with his big mouth, Mudongo Waruiro. When you call him Mzungu, he'll tell you it's wrong. But when he wants to gain political mileage, he's Mudongo Waruiro. He's Mudongo Waruiro. He tried in 2017 through Jubilee. But what did he know?
He lost.
He knew he would be nominated. He didn't go to win elections, my friend.
Now, what about this time round? Because I saw him, he lost again. And I'm told that he wants to shift to Jubilee.
He went to UDA. Let me tell you, I know Mwaura more than you do. He's been my head boy. He's been in the Christian Union with me. He went to UDA because he knew again Jubilee could not renominate him. What he's looking for is nomination or a cabinet, whatever, or a principal secretary.
I don't know, because of time.
So he's an opportunist. What's your question? He's an opportunist riding on persons with disabilities.
So Mwaura, Isaac is like, not is like, but he's using people with disabilities for his own gain. He wants to use us as a bridge to move from one point to another. So I don't know, what message do you have for him before we go to Sangoko in a few minutes? Because it's another problem.
My dear head boy, Isaac Mwaura Maigwa. I know he doesn't like the name Maigwa, but his full identification is Isaac Maigwa Mwaura. We know him as Mauga. Now, I want to advise you, brother. You may be nominated, but never be nominated forever. Remember, you are preparing a landing ground. When we are not nominated, some of us, is not that we do not know. As one politician one time said, you may cheat all people for some time, some people for some time, but not all people forever. Persons with disabilities now know you. Only that most of them cannot speak like I do. But we are telling you, Isaac Mwaura, just cross over and go to the National Council, deregister as a person with a disability, get cream, make your skin black. Please, tuache na shida zetu.
Hiyo si ya station hii, hiyo ni maneno ya Wilberforce. Hiyo ya hiyo ni yako, hiyo Wilberforce. Hiyo ni yako, hiyo sio ya hii channel. So Wilberforce, talk about Sangok in a few minutes. Because I'm seeing director is saying that we don't have enough time.
Okay. Ole Sangok. Just the same as Mwaura, an opportunist. That is why they fight very much to control the National Council. Sangok went and sold Jubilee. He got nominated. And even today, as we speak, how many people with disabilities live a life Honorable Sangok and Isaac Mwaura live? You'll find even at their doorsteps, people with disabilities are begging. So Sangok is another problem. And the same message, we know you, Sangok. This is a man who can, you had the time somebody was making fun that he's using his crutch in parliament as a weapon. You may be in your flag uniform, but the point is, remember, you are a person with disability. Our meeting point is one. You have children who may not be disabled. When you are there, please do what you're supposed to. But since we cannot advise you, you are unadvisable, do your things, let's meet elsewhere. For Kenyans, these are not guys to go singing about. Take care. When you see them round you, the two guys, they know what they want. Honorable Ruto, Honorable Raila, Honorable Uhuru, Honorable Kalonzo, and every other person. When you see these guys around you, they know what they want from you, not for persons with disabilities.
So, as we conclude, Wilberforce, what message do you have to IEBC on issue of nomination when it comes to nomination? Because I understand, according to the Constitution, they are the ones to nominate the names that they have been sent to to their offices. What message do you have for them?
I wish IEBC would consult the grassroots. We have organizations and DPOs, disabled persons organizations on the ground which know better their people. Do they want a person for Nyamira? They have party lists? Yes. If they have, let them consult and share with the DPOs on the ground. On, if it is Eno Commando, if they are Wilberforce, let the Nyamira people, let the Laikipia people give them a feedback on whoever they are intending to nominate. Then we shall get the right representation.
Talk to parties.
Political parties equally. Register as many persons with disabilities in your membership. But don't rely on those persons with disabilities in Nairobi. That I'll warn you. Come to the grassroots. The problem with the political parties, you will know Isaac Mwaura because he lives in Nairobi and is somewhere visible. We have persons with disabilities down here who can do better work than those guys you find in Nairobi or even in the US.
A message to people with disabilities on matters election?
Yes, persons with disabilities, we invite you to participate. First of all, also desire to be members of political parties. You cannot be nominated, you cannot be elected if you're not a member of a political party. Align yourself, be a member of a political party, participate in as far as elections are concerned, come out on political rallies also. Don't sit back at home, go to barazas and make sure your voices are heard. You'll never be given a silver platter. There is nothing for us without us.
Thank you very much, Wilberforce. I can't make any statement. That final statement is very important. Nothing for us without us. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscription button. We meet in the next video.
Thank you.